What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I'm going to be sharing all of the known guns that we have coming to Black Ops 6 based on the reveal, as well as some data mines in the past. So what I've done is I've gone through frame by frame with the entire Black Ops 6 reveal that we got back in June, and I'll be sharing all of the guns that I was able to identify from that reveal to the best of my ability. Keep in mind, COD often changes weapon models a little bit, so it's not exactly one-to-one with the real version of the gun. So sometimes they don't match perfectly, and there is a little bit of room for error here. But then on top of that, for those guns that are effectively confirmed, since we saw them in reveal, I will also be sharing the names of leaked guns from a leak a couple months back, actually. This is quite an old leak, but so far it seems to line up nicely with what we can see in the reveal. However, of course, with leaks, especially this early on, take them with a grain of salt. Oftentimes, even if they're coming from a data mine, things can get scrapped, shuffled around. Sometimes there's leftover assets or leftover code. So just because it was data mined, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be in the game. So anything that I didn't actually point out from the reveal, it's still up in the air at this point. And without further ado, let's dive into the assault rifle category. And the first one I want to talk about is something that has been confirmed. This is the Ames 85 in-game, and we know the name of this because you can get a blueprint for this if you get the Vault edition of the game. And also during the reveal, we saw this image right here for a pickup for the Ames 85. And there are several images of the player also holding this gun in-game. And as far as I've been able to tell, this seems to line up closest with a SAR 80 assault rifle, which was on the leaked list of weapons. Then it looks like the XM4 is coming back from Cold War, which is based on the Colt 723. And we actually see that it is called the XM4 in this screenshot from the reveal. On the bottom right, you can see the name XM4. And then there were tons of clips throughout the reveal of the player holding the XM4. It's actually one of the most common guns that popped up throughout the reveal. Then after that, if you look really closely right here, we have the AK-74, which honestly isn't all that surprising. Of course, there's going to be an AK of some sort, and the 74 makes the most sense for the era and everything. After that, the AS Val shows up on a wall. I didn't see any gameplay of the AS Val, but it was shown in the reveal here, so AS Val is also confirmed. And then if we look at this image right here, if we zoom in to the player that just got killed, we can see they were using a bullpup rifle, and this appears to be an L85, which was in the leaked list. So it seems very likely that that is an L85, and it will be in the game. And so far for assault rifles, those are the ones that I was able to fairly confidently confirm at this stage. However, in this image here, it's possible this is a SETME Model L, which is on the leaked list of weapons. It's just with this one, we don't get a super good look at it, and therefore I can't really say that with much confidence. Next, for the additional leaked weapons that I haven't talked about so far, so again, these ones are not confirmed whatsoever. I didn't see images of them in the reveal. We have the M16A2, the AR-18, and the Mendoza RM2. I should also mention with any of these leaked ones that weren't confirmed, they do use sort of a shorthand code name for weapons in the code, so the real-life models we pull out of these are the best guess based on that code name that they have in the code as well. So again, that's another area where there's some room for error. In either case, that's it for assault rifles. Now let's get into the SMG category. And again, we're going to start this off with the ones I was able to identify from the reveal. And the first one is the FAME SAF. This one shows up several times throughout the reveal. Also, the MP5, of course, this is shown multiple times in the reveal. Another one that looks a lot like the AK-74U, but upon closer investigation, it isn't the AK-74U. This is the Jeopard PDW, which I believe is actually going to line up with the Jackal. Again, this is one of those Mastercrafts you can get with the Vault edition of the game, and I know this one looks pretty crazy because it is a Mastercraft, and it's obviously not modeled exactly after a real gun. But in either case, that does appear to be the Jackal. But then finally, for SMGs that I was able to pretty confidently identify, we have the SR3 Vickr. So out of all of those clips, unfortunately, I was only able to pick out 4 of the SMGs. However, we do have a few more that were in that leaked list. So again, these ones are not confirmed. Don't take them too seriously. One of them is the Colt 9mm. The next is the Grendel R31. We also have the PP90, the Imbel MD1, and then finally the SR2 Varesk, which I'm not really confident in that one at all since that wasn't designed until 1999, so that's way outside of the timeline of this game. But I mean, we have seen COD do some weird things in the past, so I guess that's possible. Next, let's get into the LMG category, and the first LMG that we do get a nice clear look at here is the AR-10. Then after that, the only other LMG I was able to find in any of this footage is this one here in some of the zombies footage. And it turns out we actually got a better look at this in the reveal blog post. And this LMG here appears to be a KSP-58. And unfortunately, those are the only 2 I could pick out from this. There is one other leaked LMG though. This is the PU-21. As for the next category, we're going to talk about battle rifles as well as marksman rifles. And I'm combining these 2 categories since there's a lot of overlap that's honestly a little bit confusing from the leaks. So we're going to go through both of those together because they may end up just being combined in game. But the first one I noticed here is the SIG SG542 as well as the SIG SG550. Both of these showed up in the reveal multiple times. Then after that from the leaks, we have the AEK973 and the AEK971, and that could be this gun here. It's a little bit difficult to identify since it's a fairly blurry image, and this is the only image we got of this one. But next, something that is quite clear several times throughout the reveal, this is the SR25. And then for the rest of the battle rifles and marksman rifles from the leaked gun list, I didn't see any of these in the reveal, but we've got the SETME Model C. Both the FNFAL as well as the IMI Roma were also on the leaked list, which is where a lot of the confusion's coming from because they're essentially the same gun. And yet in the leaks, one of those was in the battle rifle category and one was in the marksman rifle category. Then after that, the M16 Mark 12 SPR showed up in the leaks. And then finally in the marksman rifle category, we had the VSS. As for sniper rifles, there's one sniper rifle that showed up a bunch of times throughout the reveal. They actually showed this off quite nicely. And in game, it looks like they're going to be calling this the LR762. This one, based on the leaks combined with the weapon model we're seeing here, appears to be based on the PGM Heket 2. Then in the leak list, there is a reference to a Dragunov, but it doesn't specify the model. And based on this image right here that was briefly shown off, I know the lighting isn't great, and you can't really see the full weapon model. It appears this could be a Dragunov SVU, so that may be the Dragunov model we see in game. And then finally, for the leaked sniper rifles, we have the L96, which is what the Tundra is based off of from Cold War, so it looks like the Tundra will be making a return. And now let's get into the shotgun category. And there's one shotgun in particular that we see so many times throughout the reveal. Anytime you see a shotgun, it's almost always this shotgun, which in-game it appears is going to be called the Marine SP, and it appears to be based off of the Mossberg 500 platform, which was also in the leak list of weapons. Additionally, in the leak list, it looks like there's a reference to the Mossberg 500 Bullpup. Then we have the CBC model SB12, the Olympia looks like it'll be making a return, and then finally the Remington Model 11 was found as a reference in the code. For all of these though, I couldn't find any clear images of any of these shotguns. Anytime there was a clear image, it just appeared to be that Mossberg 500. In either case, that wraps it up for all of the primary weapons that were leaked or revealed with the event. Now let's finally get into the sidearms. And the first one that we see a nice clear image of here is the Makarov. Then a few times throughout the campaign footage, we see a USP, and in the leaked code, there is apparently a USP 9 as well as a USP 45. Then after that, from the leaks, we have the Stechkin APS, the Grendel P30. We have one that's just labeled as the S Tiger, so ST, and some people are speculating this is the 5.7. I don't think that's really enough information to tell us that for sure, so I'm not entirely sure what that pistol could be, but maybe a 5.7. And then finally, we have the Beretta M9. Now, the interesting thing I want to point out here, though, is in a couple different places throughout the reveal, while it wasn't in the gameplay directly, it was more so an asset on a map, we did see multiple cases of an M1911 show up. And yet that wasn't in the leaked code. So perhaps that's that S Tiger, maybe it's a 1911 ST. And then also in this case with the 1911s, we have Glocks in there as well. And those didn't show up anywhere in the leaked code. But again, we didn't see any actual gameplay of this. And sometimes in Call of Duty, you will see a weapon model like on the wall on a map that isn't actually an available weapon to use. So maybe that's what's going on here, or maybe there will be Glocks in this game as well. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for all of the guns that were either leaked or shown off in the reveal for Black Ops 6. However, for launchers, I should also point out we did see a brief image of a Stinger, and then also in the leaked code, the Panzerfaust looks like it'll be making a return. And then on top of that, for melee weapons, we saw a combat knife shown off in the reveal, as well as a baseball bat when they were doing some mocap stuff. And there we go. That's going to wrap it up for everything we know so far, at least, regarding the weapons in Black Ops 6. Like I said, the ones that are leaked and weren't actually shown off in the reveal, take them with a grain of salt. They could be misidentified, or they could even just be scrapped elements of the code, so don't expect any of those 100%. But this is where I'm curious to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How are you feeling about this weapon lineup based on what we're seeing so far? Are you guys generally liking what you're seeing for Black Ops 6? Or are there any guns from that time period that you really wanted to see that haven't appeared in either the leak list or the gameplay footage? Just let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.